This is the Amazon Kindle DX, and it is one of quite a few ebook readers out there right now. And today, instead of reviewing the Kindle DX, as it is sort of an old model now, I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview of what ebook readers are and why you should get one. The first question a lot of people ask me is, why would you even bother with an ebook reader when your laptop, computer, or even iPod and iPads can read text files, document files, and so on just fine? Well, the ebook readers have this screen called e-ink, and it is both the advantage and disadvantage they have. E-ink screens are very, very sharp. They are black and white, they have very little glare, and they have no backlight, so if it's completely dark you can't read. They are designed to look like books, but I think they're closer to newspapers or magazines because the quality is quite sharp and the camera doesn't really do it justice here, but it looks incredibly good. When I first got my Kindle, it had this Amazon logo on the top, and I was actually trying to peel it off because I thought it was a printed sticker on the device. It looks so different from an LCD screen. If you haven't seen an e-ink screen, you should definitely go to Chapters or Barnes & Nobles or somewhere where they have an e-ink reader on display. It's definitely worth seeing even if you have no interest whatsoever in getting an e-reader. The obvious disadvantage is it's black and white, it has no backlight so you can't read at night, and the refresh rate is not really all that fast. So that means that video is probably an unlikely route to go for e-ink devices, although color seems to be doable in the near future. So, e-ink readers, why would you buy one? If you are a huge book reader, then I think you owe it to yourself to buy one of these devices. The reading experience is just fantastic, and you save time going to a library and so on. It's a lot easier to find books online, and the device is great. You know, you can adjust the font size. There's a built-in dictionary, so on the bottom here, it's completely designed to enhance your book or your reading experience. However, if you don't plan to read, there's really no point in getting one of these devices. If you don't read a lot, just go with an iPad or go with a handheld console. There's no point in getting these devices, even if it advertises that it has a built-in music player or a web browser. Those things just don't work all that well. They work good enough as a bonus, but it's not the main selling point of these devices. The other question I get is, why buy one of these Kindle DXs that costs $350 instead of the smaller Kindle 3 or Kindle 2 at $150? Well, to be honest, I bought them when the price difference wasn't quite as big, so eventually I will be buying a Kindle 3, the smaller one. But the reason I bought the big one is because reading PDFs on this device is a lot better than reading it on the smaller ones. Now, the reason being, a regular sheet of paper is roughly the size of the entire Kindle DX, so shrinking it down here is really not so bad. Everything's very crisp and readable. However, if you think of a 6-inch screen, which is roughly half the size, you have to shrink it quite a bit. And while there is zooming and panning available, it is not very seamless because of the refresh rate on the Kindle, on the e-ink screens. So if you're reading, the Kindle DX offers a whole lot of advantages. You can directly connect to Amazon and buy ebooks for cheaper than actual copies of books. They're supposed to be $10 or less, but recently there have been a few books that are going over that. Most books are free, and there are, of course, ways to get books not so legally free, and they're all available on the net, and you can download them all into here. So, I mean, if you're reading Harry Potter and so on, I guess it's easier to go on the library. However, if you're planning to read things like research papers and rarer translated books and so on, the internet is going to be a huge resource, and your library is going to pale in comparison. I've been reading research papers and so on the computer, and it's a lot easier to read them on one of these things. It's a lot easier on the eyes. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that it's not exactly true that people's eyes get tired when they read on LCD screens. So, to address that, it's sort of true. Some people don't get tired when they read on the computer. I don't really get tired reading on the computer, but it's just easier to read paper copies, and it's a lot lighter and portable. The Kindle is very, very light. It weighs probably the amount of, a PSP. It probably weighs the same amount. It's definitely lighter than the iPad. I know the smaller models are ridiculously light. They're like 10 ounces or something. So you can hold these with one hand and bring them around the house and read it. If you bring a laptop around, it's not quite so portable, or even a tablet PC. The other thing is the Kindle has free 3G. So if you buy one, you can connect to 3G at any time. The web browsing experience on the Kindle DX is not really that great. However, I've seen videos of the web browsing on the Kindle 3, and it is actually quite good. For free 3G, and it'll probably beat out your phone, aside from the fact that obviously no videos, it's black and white, but it renders everything pretty accurately. The Kindle is definitely marketed towards a very specific group of people, so if you don't read, or don't read a lot, don't even consider it. But then if you do read a lot, I think it's definitely worth checking out. You should definitely buy one, if not play with one from a friend or try one out at a store. It will change how you read. I've been reading more since I got one of these. And the fact that there's a built-in dictionary I thought was not a big deal, but a lot of these things you grow to appreciate over time. I mean, I rarely search up words, so I usually get the gist of it, but it's nice having a dictionary that's easy to use. I highly recommend checking out e-readers in general, but I'm not sure if Kindle's the best choice. It uses very few, doesn't use a whole lot of formats. It doesn't open a whole lot of formats. So you're going to have to convert a lot of stuff to fit the Kindle, to be able to read them on the Kindle, and it's kind of annoying. E-readers in general, I'm very impressed. I'm probably going to get a bunch of them later on to try. And thanks for watching.